In fact, this is actually the third time playing this minigame so far on this board. Yeah, which I don't know why the game decided to able to choose this particular minigame in general, but I'm guessing because of how the fact that they just loves pies so much, or something like that. I don't know for sure if I totally sort of agree to that, but I digress. So anyways though, let's go ahead and, wow, looks like Bowser and Bowser Jr. seems to do a hell of a lot more better than last time it does. Because, all they does back in the likes of in the past few videos is that they managed to able to stand there and just do nothing. But I digress. But we still conquered the actual minigame as it is by about 3 points above from the other team. Then, sure enough, we can able to actually accept this little victory right there. Yeah, which is very understandable if you ask me. So, anyways though, so another thing I just want to explain about this actually, before we're able to actually just, you know, end off the board off. Although, before we mention about this, however, though, I believe we got ourselves the last 3 turn event. Yeah, because, I believe just like in the forms of how it does it in the Mario Party mode, then, basically, it'll just tells you about the forms of the exact same stuff, but there are noticeable differences here. Like, for instance, that, Toad decided to able to tell us what position the team was in. So, for instance, that we're in first place, and Team Bowser was in second place, because, you know, there's only like 2 teams as opposed to 4 players, unlike the Mario Party mode. Yeah, but generally speaking, that's pretty much exactly similar to that regard. But the noticeable differences I just realized is the fact that there was no red spaces or blue spaces. So, yeah, to able to actually double those amounts. So, and well, looks like one managed to able to give us a poison mushroom. So, on second thought, we're able to get rid of, yeah, let's get rid of the spare poison mushroom, because I think we are pretty much fine as it is, especially because of how the fact that the amount of items we've got. And just like in the forms of how it does it in Chemix Champ Treasuring Tower, that the stars amount has been doubled amount. So even then though, that way we can now able to actually get 2 stars. You know, just like in the forms of how it does it also, then in forms of how it does it in Toad Scramble mode in Mario Party Star Rush. Whenever you think about trying to able to deal with the last boss, depends on what stage you're in, that way you can able to get yourselves 2 stars if you manage to able to claim first place, if you manage to able to actually defeat the boss. So yeah, that makes it totally obvious. Also, we got some more allies here, like Wario for instance, and I believe I see Shy Guy as well, and I believe there's also, I won't say by the forms of Koopa Troopa, yeah, because I can definitely see him right from here, so even then though, that makes it clearly obvious here. So, and as usual, just like the forms of in the Mario Party mode, is the fact that the extra bad luck space is being present here. Yeah, because even then, even though there are noticeable differences between the forms of the partner party than the forms of how it does it on, you know, the Mario Party mode, is the fact that the bad luck space, especially with the extra bad luck spaces, they are incredibly random, and as a result, you really can't really tell that what space you directly gonna land on, or in this case, for this matter, the grid space you have to land on. Yeah, but even then, no, that's just a little bit of a nitpicking right there. So anyways though, let's use the Coinado at, you know, depends on what players we're going to be able to accept for, most notably with Bowser, see Fernando, that way we could, able to actually steal all of their coins. Yep, truth be told, see Fernando, let's just go ahead and hopefully God forbid trying to able to land on that star space, so that way we could, able to purchase like, not 1, but 2 stars. So let's see here, we got 10, and plus 1, so that makes 11 for Donkey Kong anyway. Let's just hoping if we can able to land on that properly. So speaking of which, there we go then. So that way our stars count is now up to 6 at this point. It could imagine of how the fact that if Diddy Kong managed to land on that specific star space as well, that way we can able to get ourselves 4 stars in 1 turn. Which even then though, that could be summarized of such. Yeah, because even then, I don't know if I actually explained this or not, but basically, if one of the players lands on that star space first, whoever gets 2 stars, but if another teammate with you, they manage to land on that exact same space as you were, basically you get yourselves 2 extra stars, so even then, that makes a grand total of 4 of them you can actually purchase. And, in order to actually get 2 stars, on the other hand, though, is the fact that, you know, you have to get like 20 coins in order to actually pay them, so... Yeah, looks like Diddy Kong doesn't seem to able to get himself the ally yet. Yeah, which is odd and considering, because even though that Pom-Pom, she's the only one that's, the one of our allies we had right now. Yeah, no. And it looks like the next star space is gonna be somewhat near close to Warrior was. Yeah, when it comes to the actual ally and stuff, so that makes it clearly obvious here. I believe there's also a double card in here though, but I don't know exactly for surely though. Alright, so we have a new minigame here, Dash and Dine. Finally, about time to actually have a new minigame here. Fetch ingredients to complete the order. If you grab the wrong ingredient by accident, just put it back where you found it. So, basically, this minigame does feels a bit similar to how it does it in, I would say Order Up, but, not exactly though, because even then, the only biggest difference is here, that we need to able to grab the ingredients that the game tells you that we need to able to grab. So even then, like for instance, we need to grab the ham and 2 tomatoes or tomatoes if you pronounce that in America, and that's as far as memories can say, and also the letters as well. So but the only thing that makes it a little bit tricky is the fact that this toad right there just keeps on getting our way. And as a result though, that, well, it feels kind of like how he did on one of those mini-games from Mario Party Star Rush. And he forms it in One-Stop Toad Shop from the Coin Avalon mini-game. Or in this case, Coin Chaos mini-games or something like that. Basically because of how the fact that we need to able to grab some of those power-ups slash food, or in this case just power-ups in general, in Mario Party Star Rush, is that you have to be able to get them in the correct order before you're able to get like coins and stuff. But in this particular minigame, you have to able to grab just food itself, so that's clearly obvious here. And we got ourselves a tie.
It's a tie.
Yeah, just because that toad is in our way, so even though that's a little bit of a nitpicking there. But I digress. I think that's pretty much it for the forms of Dash and Dine, so yeah, not much to tell for this point. We're really hoping if we're able to actually play some more of those new sets of mini-games in the future, but most of the time though, Pinkie Pie, we always have to stumble across the exact same ones. Yeah, that the ones we've already played through, so... And I suppose we could able to say that the final thing of this particular discussion, while we're able to actually play through this particular board itself, basically we got ourselves our first ever Blu-ray DVD, well, Blu-ray thingy right there. And that will have to be My Little Pony the Movie 2017 counterpart. Why? Because we actually did enjoy the movie so much, especially when it first released on the cinema. Oh yeah, there's actually Dry Bones here now as well. I totally forgot about that. But, anyways though, and we decided, we did technically already got the DVD version back in June about a year ago. But, ultimately though, we decided able to pick up for a Blu-ray version just for the sake of the collector's item, and especially noticeable because we enjoy the film so much. Even though some critics seems to able to disagree on that. Oh, what the? Okay, that's a bit odd there. But, anyway though, but I'm sure enough that some fans were able to enjoy the film, ourselves included. But, except critics though, because, well, I just don't know why. They have their own opinions, but we sure have our opinions as well. But even then, no, it's entirely up to you, so that makes it clearly obvious here. Oh wow, we got 10 and another 10. Well, for both, you know, both players, you know. I guess the only solution we can able to think of is to able to stumble across this section here. Yeah, I think that's the only thing we can able to do at this point, so... And by the way, if you manage to land on this, however though, if you manage to let the arrow get into the forms of that white part, I would say is the fact that you will able to actually go back into where you got into, just like in forms of how it does it in Whomp's Domino Ruins in Mario Party mode. But the fact of the matter is though is that you only land on that happening space if you manage to let that happen. We still have not played Making Faces yet, because that was the most pretty fun minigame altogether though, but hopefully we'll come across into it later on throughout this majority of this Let's Play, and join at some point in April, or in this case for this matter, the next weekend. So, that digress. Alright, so this minigame, we already played this before, so expecting there might be some differences we might encounter, but either way though, we'll find things out. In fact, it's been about quite a few whiles since we actually did manage to able to play this minigame all of a sudden, because even then, you know, we most likely play some other types of minigames here and there as well. So anyways though, definitely Spike, because obviously, you know, he only has like a little bit of rumble. Oh, don't you mean Spiked? Yeah, you already get that joke already from that Pinkie Pie. Yeah, because, you know, back in Dream, whenever me and the girls managed able to see the constellations and the actual, you know, shooting stars above, then, you know, every time when Spike sleeps, I always call that spiked. Yeah, you get the idea. Now, I do apologize by the informs of the background noise you'll be hearing, just because I have a little bit of a blocked nose at the time, but, it's nothing mind of its own thing. And it looks like it's charging Chuck because, you know, for that little rumble feature. So, there we go then. Alright, so the final rounds, let's see what we have here. Oh, this one's new. We have the Sumo Bro, and the Thwomp, and, of course, Womp. It's kind of odd that how the fact that they always borrows, the models from, specifically the Thwomps and the Womps from the older games. But the only exception to that is the forms of, like, they couldn't even, like, borrow most of these models from New Super Mario Bros. Wii / New Super Mario Bros. U, and especially noticeable with the new design version of the Womp design since Super Mario Galaxy 2 and New Super Mario Bros. 2, and especially noticeable with Mario Party 9. But I'm guessing because of how the fact that they just need to be able to bring back the older version of themselves. Or if it's a possibility of such, but either way, onto the final turn we go. But however though, unlike in Mario Party mode is the fact that Toad doesn't say anything before you're able to deal with the final turn, unlike the Mario Party mode. Mainly just because of how the fact that this mode does not contain any item shops. So, yeah, because the only time you can only get items through this mode, however though, is, obviously we need to continuously landing on that, item spaces. So, that's as far as the only method you can actually get items from. So, okay, so looks like Bowser might actually go ahead and just go directly towards Koopa Troopa right there from the start. And also same applies for Bowser Jr. as well, to able to obtain Wario of all things. And wow, looks like Team Bowser did manage to able to conquer everything when it comes to the ally system. Yeah, which is true, because even then, you know, in the forms of the beginning portion of the board, before we start this up, that we did manage to. Oh wow, that was really crap. Yeah, so speaking of crap, we'll take just one as it is. Even though we could appreciate it if we're able to actually go for just the normal dice block, so that way we can able to escape from here. But I'm afraid to say, Pinkie Pie, is the fact that we've only got enough as it is, for stars anyway. Anyways though, so let's see. We've not played Juice Box yet, and especially noticeable with that, well, we'll explain more now whenever we get to the next weekend. So, but not that guys, let's go ahead and just deal with this minigame again, but you know, you get the picture. So, and I think that's what I could say about the forms of today's video actually, even especially noticeable with the entire weekend on all of a sudden. So, yeah, that makes it clearly obvious for this point right there, because even then though that, well, unfortunately it seems to say that we accidentally just managed to able to, like, well, since our SpongeBob SquarePants Battle from Bikini Bottom for the original Xbox, well, it did only works on our Xbox 360, but it lacks with widescreen support. But, ultimately though, for our original Xbox, we're having so much more bad luck for that situations about the fact that, well, I was expecting if this could be read on our original Xbox console, but turns out I have no luck of it. Yeah, which is a shame though. But even then, no, we no longer have it though, so even then, that makes it a little bit obvious there. And, plus, it's just kind of a shame because even then, we would love to able to actually practice this game before you're able to jump into the actual Let's Play of SpongeBob Battle for the Bikini Bottom. But unfortunately though, due to the lack of, you know, basically for pretty much everything all accounted for. So, unfortunately seems to say, that makes it totally obvious. Alrighty then, so moving on to the forms of, you know, by the forms of the bonus stars. As you saw, we've already conquered everything of, the minigame star, obviously. And also for Sightseer bonus, we surprisingly got that. Yeah, I'm not sure why that we've got that, but there you go then. And truth be told, Buddy bonus is definitely gonna belongs to Team Bowser, of course. Yeah, because you know that the other team did manage to got a lot, I mean a lot of allies. So yeah, it's kind of odd, but hey. So as you can tell, we did manage to conquer everything in this board so far. So Well, except at the very beginning of the actual boards, because, you know, those two got very lucky on their first start, on their first turn. In fact, it kind of reminds me of back in the day, back in 2011, where I was managed to play through, like, Spiny Desert in Mario Party 3, and for whatever reason, Mario just managed to got super lucky by the forms of that hidden block, and what it contains on that hidden block is actually the star itself. Ironically enough, on the very first turn. Jeez. It brings me so many memories by that day. Yeah, I know that. So anyways, let's take a look at the results here. Obviously for minigame star, we actually got like 175, whilst the other team got lower than that. We used so many items because for some reason, Team Bowser doesn't seem to have that much items to begin with. And as for allies, Team Bowser managed to conquer everything for allies department. And as for the travel space wise, oh wow, we did manage to beat Bowser for about 5 spaces. Okay, seems interesting, but hey, we'll take it I suppose. Now as for the lucky spaces though, Diddy Kong did manage to land the most of it. Yeah, because even then though, because we did manage to able to simultaneously get ourselves, you know, endless amount of mushrooms and all that stuff. Bowser Jr., he's the only one lands on that versus spaces most of the time. And the event spaces that we did manage to land on those. And Bowser did manage to land on most of these item spaces, but despite the fact they did not use items at all. Yeah, but even then, that's a little bit of a nitpicking there. And these two right here are the exclusive features by the forms of, you know, in Partner Party. So as you can see, that no matter how many times you actually step onto the opponent, whilst in other times though, you can able to ground pound the opponent, and that's all I can say about it. So, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for Domino Ruins Treasure Hunt. So, join us the next weekend of Super Mario Party Let's Play. Is the fact that we're going to be moving on to the second board in the Partner Party, and that will have to be Gold Rush Mine. So, things are going to be a little bit more, well, we'll save that for whenever we get to it. So, see you guys then.